Yo, what's going on, guys? Today I'm going to be going over the MLB slate on DraftKings for Wednesday, April 18th. 7 games today on the main slate for Wednesday. And like always, guys, before we get started, looking at this slate and looking at pitchers and batters we want to target today, make sure you guys drop a like on the video. I would really appreciate it. If you're new to the channel and you have not subscribed yet, make sure you click that subscribe button down below so that way you won't miss out on any of my new videos. If you have any questions or anything you want to say about this slate, make sure you leave it down in the comments. Always reading comments, always replying to comments as well. But yeah, looking at pitcher today, definitely got some studs for it to just be 7 games. We have 4 pitchers over 10K, and then you have other intriguing options as well that are a little bit cheaper, like Maeda against the Padres, Tanner Roark against the Mets. I really like. We'll talk about him in a second. But mostly focusing on the studs right now. The 4 pitchers over 10K: Robbie Ray, Carlos Carrasco, Jose Barrios, and Garrett Cole. I'm always looking to pay up for pitcher today, so I like paying up at this position. Obviously, a guy like Garrett Cole, I feel like is a great option here at $11,900. Garrett Cole has definitely been a great pitcher so far this year for the Astros. He's been very dominant through 3 games. He's faced the Rangers twice, and then he had a matchup with the Padres. Has at least 11 strikeouts in all 3 games. Got 11 strikeouts his first game against Texas. Next game he pitched against the Padres, 11 strikeouts again, and then played Texas again and got 14 strikeouts in that game. The DraftKings points have been insane: 36, 34, and 36 DraftKings points through 3 games this year. Cole's been very consistent. He's been pitching very well, and at $11,900, you might not want to pay that price tag for Garrett Cole. You're probably not used to paying that price tag for Garrett Cole, but with just how he's pitched this year, I think he's worth the price tag. The Mariners, this matchup is obviously not a cupcake matchup by any means. The Mariners don't really strike out a lot. They do have some power bats, and they do have guys that will put the ball in play. But with just how good Cole's been this year, I think he is a good option here at $11,900. If you don't really like the matchup, you could go down to Carlos Carrasco for a little bit cheaper against Minnesota. I don't mind doing that. But with just how good Garrett Cole's pitched so far this year, I like going up to him. I think he is very safe here against the Mariners. You also do have Robbie Ray for a little bit cheaper than Carrasco, who you could also consider. I think it's definitely possible to play like Garrett Cole and Robbie Ray today, or Cole and Carrasco. I think there is enough value at hitters to where you could do that. But I'm not going to do that today. I'm going to look for a cheaper SP2. There is someone I like that's cheap, $7,300. I like this spot for Tanner Roark today against the Mets. I like this matchup with the Mets. The Mets definitely have some strikeouts in this lineup, especially with a guy like Cespedes versus a righty. We know he's powerful, but does strike out versus righties. Todd Frazier will strike out. Rosario will strike out. The top of the lineup, not as hefty, like Conforto, Cabrera, Bruce, Gonzalez. These guys versus righties, their K rate isn't very high, but I still think this is a weak enough lineup to where Tanner Roark can have some success here. He did play the Mets about 2 weeks ago and put up 13 DraftKings points. It wasn't that great of a game. He did give up 5 runs, but he managed to pick up 9 strikeouts, so he was able to strike plenty of Mets out the last time he faced them. Hopefully this time he can just avoid giving up so many runs. The strikeouts, I think, will still be there. Might not get 9, but 6, 7 strikeouts definitely possible for Tanner Roark here. And at $7,300, we are getting a good discount on him today, especially what he has been just to start the year. $9,900 against the Braves, $8,700 against the Rockies. So we're getting a little bit of value here with Tanner Roark at $7,300. I feel like, and I do like him as an SP2 option. There aren't a lot of SP2 options I really like that are cheap besides Roark. Rick Porcello against the Angels, I guess you could go to. But I kind of feel safer with Roark for just a little bit less than Porcello. Velasquez against the Braves, won't be going there. Tyler Skaggs against Boston, don't think I'm going to be going there. For SP2, I'm really looking at Roark if we're talking about cheap SP2s. But if you do want to play Cole and Ray, or Cole and Carrasco, or even Carrasco and Ray as your 2 pitching options, and you can find the value at hitter, I think that definitely does make sense today. But now if we do want to look at some hitters to target, my 3 bats for today, definitely going to have some value. All 3 guys are going to come from the outfield. But starting off with the first hitter that I like, looking to get some exposure to the Astros. I always like targeting the Astros just because they're always going to have a high implied run total. They have been cold to start the year. They haven't been hitting the ball that well. But with this matchup with Mike Leake, I think they can definitely get things going here. Mike Leake, not a very heavy strikeout pitcher, does throw the ball a lot in the zone, is pretty much a pitch to contact kind of pitcher. And when you're throwing the ball in the zone versus guys like Springer, Bregman, Altuve, Correa, the ball is definitely going to put in play. Obviously Reddick, I like here at 4.1K, projected about 5th. He gets the splits matchup going up against the righty, and Reddick is obviously better versus righties than he is lefties. So I do like him here. Surprisingly, the Astros, with only 4.6 implied runs for today, or with their implied run total only being a 4.6 runs. Right now, as I'm recording this video, that is one of the highest on the slates. I believe the highest is at 4.7. That's the Diamondbacks. So not a lot of high implied run totals on the main slate. Astros, Diamondbacks are two teams that have some of the highest. Definitely think you do want to get some exposure to those teams. And I like Reddick here at 4,100, trying to find some value from that lineup. And then my next play, like I said, all three coming from the outfield. Looking to get some exposure to the Diamondbacks. I think the Diamondbacks are also able to put up some runs today. So I like David Peralta as a value option at 3,600 in a matchup with Chris Stratton. I just really like Peralta's price tag here versus a righty in Chase Field. I think David Peralta makes a lot of sense as a value option. We know he's going to bat leadoff versus a righty. He's dirt cheap. The Diamondbacks do have the highest implied run total on this slate, like I said. I think they're able to get to Stratton and put up some runs here. Even with Chase Field getting the humidor, I still think this is going to be a pretty good hitter's park. And I'm definitely going to be targeting hitters at Chase Field pretty much all year. So I like Peralta here, 3,600. I think he's a good value option. I think he makes a lot of sense if you are trying to go cheap in the outfield. And then my final play is going to be from the Braves. I really like Ender Inciarte, another value option you can consider at 3,300 versus Vince Velasquez. I think this is a good spot for Ender Inciarte. I think he's just kind of too cheap for the upside that this guy has, for how consistent he is. Inciarte, definitely a guy that puts the ball in play, will get on base, will get walked. Like I said, just puts the ball in play. He's got speed. If he gets on base, he will attempt steals. He will try and steal bases, which obviously that's great for fantasy. Steals are so valuable in MLB DFS. So I think it's a great spot for Ender. He's going to be leading off, obviously. He's going to get at least 4 to 5 at-bats, and just, I feel like, makes a lot of sense as a cheap option. I think the Braves might actually be able to get to Velasquez here and put up some runs. So guys like Inciarte, Albies, obviously Freddie Freeman going to be a good play if you can fit him in. But you do have some value here with Inciarte and Albies, even if you want to play Nick Markakis, only 3.2K. I do like the Braves. We obviously know that ballpark for lefties going to be very hitter-friendly, going to favor lefties. So if you need some value at outfield, if you want to pay up for both of your pitchers today and you need some cheap hitters, then guys like Peralta, Inciarte, I think you can definitely consider if you're trying to find some value. But yeah, these are my 5 plays for today, guys. Garrett Cole, Tanner Roark, Josh Reddick, David Peralta, and Ender Inciarte. Now if we want to look at some of the stacks for today, some stacks we want to target, some teams that have the highest implied run totals. Like I said earlier, the Diamondbacks lead the slate as I'm recording this video in implied run total at 4.7 runs, and next highest at 4.6 runs is the Astros versus Mike Leake. Definitely favorite stack is the Diamondbacks here versus Stratton. I don't think Stratton's that good of a pitcher, and this is a team you can definitely target. They have value bats. Peralta's cheap. Ketel Marte projected about 2nd. He is very cheap. Even Descalso projected about 5th, only 2.5K. Versus a righty, you could definitely consider Daniel Descalso. I think this team puts up runs, and they got value up and down their lineup from pretty much from top to bottom. So I really like the Diamondbacks today. The Astros, if you can fit these guys in, I think they're still in play, even though they've really been struggling to hit the ball. This team's just too good. They're going to figure things out. They're going to start hitting the ball. So Correa, if you can fit him in, Bregman, really like as well. And obviously Josh Reddick, projected about 5th, 4.1K, I think is a great option. And then I would say like a sneaky stack would definitely be the Braves here just because they're cheap. They're in a good hitter's park. Vince Velasquez, I think, is a pitcher you can definitely target with some lefties. So Inciarte, Albies, like I said, Markakis, some good value there. But that's really it for stacks and implied run totals. Now if we want to look at BVP, some of the top BVP plays on the main slate, at least plays that have a big sample size. Joe Mauer is 12 for 27 versus Carlos Carrasco. A 444 average, also has a home run. Asdrubal Cabrera 3 for 10 off Tanner Roark with a home run. Some of these Mets have hit Roark well. Cabrera has and Michael Conforto has. But I don't think that's going to keep me off of Roark. I really think he's a good option today. Michael Taylor 3 for 12 off Steven Matz with a home run. I didn't mention any of these Nationals, but you definitely want to take some guys with speed versus Steven Matz. He's very bad at holding on runners, does allow a lot of stolen bases. I think Trey Turner is a great play today at shortstop. If you can fit him in, even if you want to play like Rendon or Kendrick, I think they're good plays. And especially Michael Taylor, he's got solid BVP. He's dirt cheap, 2.9K. We know if Michael Taylor gets on base, the dude's going to be looking to run. So you could definitely consider him projected at 6. Do like Michael Taylor, another value option you can consider in the outfield. Then some more BVP plays with sample, at least have a decent sample. Cole Calhoun, 7 for 19 off Rick Porcello with 2 home runs, 368 average. Ian Kinsler, 9 for 20 off of Porcello, 450 average. Albert Pujols is 9 for 26 with a 346 average. Some of these Angels have hit Rick Porcello really well, so you could consider them if you're a believer in BVP. But that's really it for BVP plays with a decent sample. Now if we want to look at pitchers that have done well in their matchups, Steven Matz has done well against the Nationals. They've only hit him for a 187 average. The Nats are 15 for 80 versus Steven Matz. But I'm not really going to be on Steven Matz today. I still like Roark for just a little bit more. Rick Porcello has struggled against the Angels. Luis Perdomo has struggled against the Dodgers. Those are your 2 pitchers on the main slate that have done poor in their matchups. But yeah, guys, that's really it for BVP and PVB. And that's really it for this video. Hopefully you guys did enjoy the video. Hopefully it helped you. If you did enjoy, just make sure you click that like button down below. If you haven't subscribed yet, make sure you subscribe as well. And if you have any questions, feel free to leave them down in the comment section below. Or you can hit me up on Twitter at the DFS_GOAT. But yeah, guys, that's pretty much it. Thank you so much for watching. I really appreciate it. And good luck tonight on this slate. Peace.